Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the video lecture series on basic electronics, module number 2, 18ELN24. Today we will go to the JFET, its theory and its operation. Okay. So what we have seen in the previous video lecture, that introduction to the JFET theory, okay, and how the JFET has been constructed. Okay. Now in this today lecture number 3, we will see how the JFET is operated, uh, or what is the basic principle behind its operation. Okay, so now based on the operation of this JFET, okay, so it is being categorized under N channel and it is P channel. Okay, so based on the N channel and P channel, how this JFET will work. Okay, so for to make this JFET work here, there are few conditions and few cases are there. Okay, so let us see one by one how these cases will help us to make this operation successful. Okay, so let us take the first case, that the gate source voltage is applied between drain and source, and voltage is 0, that is VDS is kept as 0. Okay, so here the two cases are, before going to the two cases, let me make what are the three terminals here are. This is the source, this is gate, and this is the drain. So always your input, the flow of current will be from source to drain by gate controlled. Okay, and this JFET is a voltage control device. So here the first case here is when gate source voltage is applied. Source voltage in the sense we will be applying the input voltage at this particular region. Okay, this region we will apply the input voltage, and apart from that, the drain and source voltage is kept at 0. In the sense, the voltage which is applied here, it is kept as 0. So we will not be applying any voltage. Okay. So when VGS is 0, in the sense, when I make this particular voltage as 0 voltage, here if I don't apply any voltage, okay, I will apply the connection, battery connection can be made, but let us make the voltage is equal to 0. Okay, so if you apply VGS is 0, the two depletion layer which you can see here and the channel are formed normally. Okay, you can see this is the P material, this is my channel, and this is one more P material. This P2P here, they act as a region, and this becomes N represents my channel. So when you apply 0 voltage, the two depletion layers are formed and the channel is also formed. Okay, and they are normal in the sense there will not be any change in the size and shape of the channel and size and shape of your depletion region. Now what we will do is, as this JFET is working under the reverse bias, not forward bias, it is working under the reverse bias condition. Okay, so during the reverse bias condition, what will happen? Reverse bias in the sense you need to apply the negative voltage. Okay, so when VGS is increased negatively, you can see negative in the sense voltage less than 0 is negative. Okay, so that is if VGS is less than 0, like -1, -2, -3 voltage, okay, and beyond that, but this voltage should not be exceeding VGS cutoff voltage. Okay, for example, if I take some cutoff voltage as some -10 volt, this should not increase. Okay, so your applied voltage should not be increasing your cutoff voltage or VGS off voltage, but it should be less than the 0 voltage. Okay, so if you do that, if you use that type of voltage between your gate and source, then the depletion layer are also increased and the channel will decrease. What does this mean? You can see in figure number 2 here that the size of these two depletion layer are increasing and they are moving towards the N channel. And what is the size of the channel here now? The size of the channel is reduced. You can see the size of this channel is small as compared to this size. It means that my channel length is getting decreased while the depletion layer, this region are called as depletion layer, they are getting increased. And when this will be when this is done, only if you increase your this VGS voltage less than 0, that is nothing but increase in voltage but negatively. Okay, now The third case is if the applied voltage is equal to the VGS voltage. For example, my VGS voltage is minus some 5 volt and the applied voltage is also minus 5 volts. It means that when these two voltages are made equal, or simply we can tell if the applied VGS is equal to VGS volt off, then what will happen? The two depletion layer will touch each other and the channel will become completely zero. You can see in the figure number 3 or figure number C, where when I apply the negative voltage, okay, which is equal to or it is greater than VGS voltage, these two region will touch each other and it becomes a huge depletion region. The size of the depletion region get increased. Okay, so with that particular increase in this size here, you can see, okay, the depletion layer is such a large that we don't find any N. Where is N? N is here. It is almost zero. It is almost removed. Then what will happen? If there is no path, if there is no channel, then no current will flow through the channel. So therefore, the three cases are when VGS is zero, depletion layer and the channel will act as normal. If the depletion, if the VGS is increased negatively but less than the VGS, then the increase in the depletion layer and the channel will become smaller. And if the VGS is equal to VGS cutoff or VGS offset voltage, or you can simply call it as the cutoff voltage or threshold voltage, the two depletion layer will touch each other such that there will not be any kind of channel available so that the current will flow. Okay, so this is the first mode of operation. Now coming to the second mode of operation. So the second mode of operation here is when the drain source voltage is applied. In the sense, though we were applying the VGS voltage, okay, and now what we will do? We will keep this VGS voltage as a constant voltage. We will not change any voltage here. Let us put into a constant voltage. For example, it can be your minus 2 volt, okay, or sometimes it can be your plus 2 volt. Okay, it can be anything. It can be kept at any voltage. Okay, so during that case, what will happen now? Okay, so here you can see again the two cases. So first case is what? VGS is made constant. Here you can see, and now the drain and source voltage is also available. In the sense, we are applying the two voltages. Okay, now what will happen? Now the reverse bias at the drain end is larger than the source end, obviously, because whatever this is constant, but this voltage I am increasing because it is positive. It is greater than zero. Okay, so if any voltage is greater than zero for this particular constant value, then this depletion region is wider at that particular source, that particular, or it becomes wider at drain and source end. You can see in figure here that the depletion layer, these two depletion layers are becoming wider, or they are becoming big at this particular point. Why? Because I have applied a positive voltage. And what about this? This is the negative voltage, and that too it is a constant voltage. There is no change in the depletion layer at VGS. Okay, so this is one point. The second point says that when VDS is increased, okay, now if I increase this voltage, that is drain and source voltages are increased. Okay, they are increased beyond the zero level, beyond the zero voltage. Okay, then what will happen? The two depletion layer will increase in such a way that they will touch each other. Here you can see they are beyond the zero voltage, but they should be less than some threshold voltage. Then they will touch each other at this particular point. Okay, now there is possibility that there will not be any flow of current, because we don't have any path, we don't have any channel, so that the flow of electrons will take from source to drain. Okay, so these two conditions are valid. The first condition is your VDS is applied, okay, but which is greater than zero voltage, your depletion layer get wider, small amount of charge will flow. Now similarly, when you apply in the second case here, that greater than, if you increase your VDS value, then there is a possibility that these two depletion layer will meet at one point where there is no flow of charge or no flow of current. Okay, now the condition is if the two voltages are made equal, that your applied VDS current is equal to the threshold value what we have kept, then during that particular condition the whole channel itself is closed and no further flow of charge will flow from source to drain. So this is the second condition of the JFET. Now coming to the transfer characteristics curve, if you look at this transfer characteristics curve, this curve will explain you about the theory of operation, that whenever I increase the voltage beyond the zero voltage, that but it should be in such a way that it should be in the negative, that is -1, 2, -2, -3 and -4. You can see there will be a gradually increase in the current and it becomes constant. Okay, it becomes constant, but at zero voltage you are having the maximum current. Okay, so therefore whenever there is a increase in the VGS voltage in the negative direction or in the reverse bias voltage, then there is a fall in current. When the voltage is made at zero, then you will have maximum current, that is given here in the transfer characteristics of JFET. Similarly, you can see here there is a gradually increase or exponentially increase in current when this voltage is at zero, but it will decrease in again towards the negative side if your current is made equal to zero or your VGS is made almost down to VP. Okay, so this shows you the graph of the drain current versus the gate source voltage. Now looking into the transfer VI characteristics curve here, it is again operated under the two regions. One is ohmic region, another is the saturation region. Okay, and this graph is drawn along the ID versus VDS. Okay, now what we have explained in the previous cases, the two cases. Okay, so for the first case, if the applied voltage is zero or the gate source voltage is zero, then there will be a huge current, or we can say there is a maximum drain current. Okay, you can see here if the applied it is zero, then it is VGS is equal to zero and that current is almost maximum. Okay, and it is shorted gate drain current, you may also tell, and it will enter into the saturation regions once it reaches to its pinch off values. Okay, and that particular pinch off value is already defined. We represent it by VP. Now if there is increase in the VGS that is in the negative direction, that is minus side, okay, then what will happen? The drain current, that is the ID current, will decrease. Okay, even though the VDS is increased. Okay, even though if I apply the drain and source voltage more, okay, or if it is increased some beyond some VP value, but still there is a decrease in the ID current because you have increased your VGS current less than zero. Okay, so he will speak here only about less than 1, less than 0, that is -1, -2 and -3. Okay, now similarly, if this particular VGS value is reached to some certain value where there is no drain current, okay, then it is almost equal to 0, and that will only happen if you have reached, that is VP value, which is your threshold value. So beyond that voltage, you will not find any flow of current because there is no path from source to drain. Okay, similarly you can see the graph for, or you can define the pinch off voltage here. The pinch off voltage is defined as the minimum drain current or minimum drain to source voltage at which the drain current is essentially become constant. You can see here after some time at point VP the current is constant, and when it is constant, and that this point we can call it as a pinch off voltage, a current or the maximum drain source current, okay, which is maintained constant, okay, at some particular point VP. So that point is called as a pinch off voltage, and we have a saturation level. It is defined as after pinch off voltage, okay, where the current becomes almost constant, and this constant level is known as your saturation level, where wherever you measure the current, it will show you the constant values. Similarly, we have an ohmic region here, and you can define the ohmic region as the line which is behind the pinch off voltage, where the drain current is increasing rapidly, is known as ohmic region. You can see all the currents applied, all the current graph are, they are increasing only. There is no any constant current which is shown in the ohmic region, because for the applied VGS values which is less than 0, that is -1, -2, -3 and -4, all the currents are in the entering into the saturation region, but there is a small amount of current which is flowing here. Now there is one more region with respect to this JFET, that is called as a breakdown voltage. And how we define the breakdown voltage here is, it is the region where your drain source voltage is high, okay, because after some time, once here it is increasing, it becomes constant. At some particular time, that channel will break, okay, where you can see there is a huge voltage or huge current will be available, and that will flow. And we may also, it can become also a resistive, okay, where it will allow you to break, okay, and pass the uncontrolled maximum current. But there is a disadvantage here is, this uncontrolled maximum current will lead to the damage of JFET, okay. And the cutoff voltage can be defined as where you apply the gate and source voltage when the drain current becomes completely zero, is called cutoff voltage, and which is usually denoted by VGS off, okay. And based on looking at the this VI characteristics or the transfer characteristics, and along with the theory of JFET, you may have some kind of advantages. So the first advantage is, it is simple to fabricate, and it comes in very small size, and it has a longer life and high efficiency, okay, and it has a high input impedance, okay? It has a negative temperature coefficient for the resistance value, and it has a high power gain. Due to the low power gain which we see in the bipolar, it has been overcome in the JFET. But there is a small disadvantage here is, greater susceptibility due to damage until its handling. Once you cross the handling capacity of JFET, there will be a breakdown, and that particular breakdown will damage your JFET. Other than that, the JFET has a very low gain, okay. And looking into the applications of JFET here, it is a voltage control device, okay, and it can be used as an analog switch or gate. It acts as an amplifier and as well as the low noise amplifier, and it is a constant current source. So with this, we can conclude in a better way that the JFETs are far better than the bipolar transistor, where you can achieve very good efficiency, you can achieve the low noise, okay, and also you may find some high input impedance. So due to this, various applications of JFET, it is being used more widely rather than the bipolar transistor. With this, I conclude this today's topic. Thank you.